Good afternoon. This is Diana Shad, CEO of the Family Business Alliance. Today we're meeting with Ilana Chamelly, second-generation family member of Marthas Vineyard here in Grand Rapids. Ilana, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks. So I wanted to start with some basic background questions. Could you tell us a little bit about how the business was started and the year it was started?
So my dad has always been into just different ventures. And so, let's see, back in the 80s, he started a small sandwich shop called Easttown Deli in Easttown.
I have been to Easttown Deli.
Yeah. So he started that. Oh man, I'm not sure if it was 80 or late 70s, early 80s. I always forget dates. So he started that and was working that, and he ended up coming into this location here. It used to be just kind of like a stop and go liquor store, and just got to know the owner just by stopping by on his way home from work to home, back and forth. And so this was his regular, consistent stop. And he got to know the owner, and the owner's like, I really want to sell. And my dad's like, I don't have the money to buy this store from you. And he's like, well, let's keep talking. So my dad ended up buying the store as a land contract. And that must have been 1984. I think we're in our 34th year, if that's the correct math there.
Okay.
But yeah, 1984, he bought the business, and it was just a stop and go shop. Very small, just liquor, cigarettes, maybe a few snacks. But that's when he started this endeavor.
So I'm a little off track here, but I'm just curious. Did he always have kind of an interest in cooking and gourmet? Because you're such a gourmet shop now.
I'm not quite sure. I don't think so.
Okay. It just kind of developed that way.
I think it did. Well, I guess growing up in a Lebanese family, food's always prevalent. And I guess he has really always had an interest in food, working in a deli and offering good food to the neighborhood or community around. So that was probably a little bit of a driver for the store. But he gave it a name, something that he could grow into, a name that wasn't associated with himself, but that already had an image. So Marthas Vineyard, knowing the island and kind of the history or prestige of the island, he used that as the store's name to give the store something to grow into. And so I'm not sure that he knew what it was going to develop into, but he wanted something to move towards.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about Marthas Vineyard that our listeners don't know. What do you offer the West Michigan community?
I always say that we are a gourmet grocer, a specialty wine shop. So we have a very large deli selection of prepared foods that come up to the store daily that we make fresh. We have an amazing chef in the deli, Nejwa, who makes authentic Mediterranean cuisine and other foods. We do fresh sandwiches. We have a deli for sliced meats, pastry selection that's from our bakery, wine, lots of wine. if you need some, I think we have it for you. We have a very nice, very sought after liquor selection. We have fresh produce that we just expanded into a couple years ago, grocery and gourmet grocery. What else am I missing? Oh, and we do pizza by the slice and to order.
Okay.
Yep.
And you've kind of grown over time. It seems like every few years you're expanding into a new area.
Yep. Just a lot of slow expansion.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
It's smart planning. So I saw in your store that you have a large Made in Michigan section. Why is it important to support the local businesses to you?
It's a lot of people that we know within the community. It's so cool. We had a young girl who's shopped with us for quite a while. She was working at Love's Ice Cream downtown, and she started her own ice cream line, Con Appetit, and she gives 10% of her proceeds to fight against sex trafficking. So she's a local company, and not only are we supporting our local economy, but our local community, people that shop with us and have been loyal to us. So there's multiple levels to why we support local.
So how many generations are involved in the business, and what generation are you?
So Camille would be first generation, right? Or initial? How does that work?
He would be the first. Yep.
Okay, so Camille's first. Then I would be second generation.
And are there any other family members or just you involved?
My younger sister came on 4 years ago and opened up our coffee shop, which is located next to the store. So I work predominantly in the store here and oversee some of our other businesses, our catering business and our bakery. And my sister runs our coffee shop. Yeah.
What is your dad's role in the business versus your role? What are your two responsibilities?
I guess in kind of a joking way, my dad always says I am an extension of him, or like his octopus arm. So, so I'm growing into the business and following him as well as managing my own department. So Camille oversees everything.
Okay.
He's involved in everything to some degree, whereas over the past few years, I've had to work my way into the business. So I started, stocking, and now I've taken over various departments within the store. And I help Camille in other adventures that he gets himself into.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's been 34 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming you were very young, if born at the time that it started.
Yeah.
What are some of your memories of growing up with the business and being a part of a family business?
Growing up, I thought my dad's job was just very natural. I thought everyone had this experience, being able to go to work with your family, or with your dad. I was really lucky. My tete, my grandma, pretty much started in the store with my dad when he started this business. And when my dad built the deli, my tete, my grandma, came on and started running the deli. I was really lucky growing up to wake up really early in the morning, and my dad would load me in his big white truck, and we'd come to work super early in the morning, and I'd work in the deli with my grandma making sandwiches and making hummus and helping customers, and I'd stock shelves and dust shelves all morning, and then probably go play with different bottles, make things out of big boxes that I'd find, and just kind of run around the store. I'm sure make a little bit of trouble too. Yeah.
Did you always expect to come back to the business, or did you think about doing something else before coming back?
I didn't expect to come into the business. I studied languages in college, so I'm more of a humanities major, not quite into business. But when I graduated, I really needed to spend time with my family at that time. Some things were going on, and so I took a year in Grand Rapids, and my dad offered me a position to work, and he said, just come for 1 year. And I was like, all right, let's do this. So I came to work for 1 year, and I had never been challenged so much. I kind of thought to myself, well, I can go back to school, or I can pursue a career in languages or translation, but this is just so interesting, and no one else will invest so much knowledge in me. My dad he really wanted me to grow and to learn, and so he was always giving me new tasks, and no year has been the same. It's always been evolving and growing, and the responsibilities that I have just keep piling on, which is fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big part of why I've stayed. To be close to family is really incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it becomes more and more important to me anyway, the older you get. It seems like it just, you realize that you want to spend time with the people you're closest to. So
yeah,
it's nice.
And some days are really difficult to be next to family all the time. My sister in the coffee shop, or my dad in the store, and I'm sure there are days that he doesn't want to see me here too. But for the most part, I think we're just so grateful for the support that we all have.
Well, you raised a really good point. There's really great moments, and sometimes there's difficult moments. What are some of the resources that you've relied on to kind of navigate this journey with the family business?
So, honestly speaking, the FBA has been incredible for me. I came into it, I think, my second year working at the store, and that's been just an incredible resource. I didn't know how long I was going to stay when I first started, and it just, each year I just keep staying, not because it's easy to stay, but because of the challenge. And I've found that getting into the FBA so early in my career at the store has really given me a lot of support. Meeting other people that work in their family businesses, I have an outlet to talk to them about difficult conversations that I need to have. Or one thing that comes up a lot is that I learn from them the things that I don't yet know to ask about the business, growing a business, about financials. Some of the issues that my group members face help me learn before I have to face some of those issues.
And that would be the peer group program,
Yes,
right, that you're a part of?
Yeah, the peer group.
And how many years have you been a part of a peer group?
I think we are celebrating our 5th, or we just did, yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah. We're 5 years strong, and I really love all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone in our group.
Good. Well, to switch gears a little bit, does Martha's advertise as a family business? Is that something that you really promote, or just something that's kind of a given part of the business?
It's never been really advertised. And I think because my dad started the business on his own, my tete was present, but never anything that he focused on or felt was necessary to focus on. As my sister and I are coming in, we do refer to the business as a family business. Yeah, it's a community business, I guess. My sister and I are involved with my dad. We've built a family with the community around us, but we don't really feel like we need to talk about it that much. I think you can feel it more when you come in rather than us needing to say it to promote the store.
Right.
I don't know. Does that make sense?
Well, and you are in such a great community. You know, for our listeners who haven't been here, you kind of have this wonderful block and kind of this great neighborhood that people are walking their dogs to and sitting out at the cafe tables. And it really is, to me, such a big part of the community here.
I think you can feel it when you come into the store. My coworkers are like family. I spend more time with them than I do at my house. Pretty much. I spend more time here. Even customers, we can check it up on them. We know what's going on with their families, or just stay involved in their lives too. So I don't think it's anything that we need to promote necessarily, but I think it's something that you do notice and feel when you're in the store.
Well, you had mentioned the bakery, the store, the cafe, and I have heard a rumor that you were opening a new venture. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
A new venture and adventure. So this is Camille's newest venture/adventure. We are opening a new restaurant called Marcona. It is going to be on the same block. Camille is partnering with Chef Matt Overdevest on this venture. It's opening up in a couple weeks. The vision for this is Mediterranean. It's not going to be your typical sense of Mediterranean. It's not going to be, I guess sometimes people think maybe Middle Eastern food, or just one country specific food. It's going to be pulling from all cuisine throughout the Mediterranean. So you have Spain, Italy, you have France, of course, but then you have North Africa, you have Greece, Turkey. Any country that does touch the Mediterranean, there will be a pulling influence from those flavors.
And will it be more fine dining or casual dining?
I think it's going to be more casual.
Okay.
We're trying to give a space for the neighborhood, so nothing too fancy.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or?
We are going to be doing dinner to start.
Okay.
And brunch on the weekends.
Oh, terrific.
In addition to dinner, yeah.
Okay.
But that'll be a slow process, yeah.
Good. And you said it's opening in a few weeks.
Yep. Yes, I believe 2 weeks. We don't have an open date yet. I think it's just going to open. And hopefully you happen upon it at the right time.
I hope so. Well, thank you so much for telling us about the restaurant. That sounds wonderful, and we're really excited to see it open and wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
One last question. What's the best part of working with your family?
I think the best part is honestly just being with them every day. For some people, this is probably too much time to spend with family. But I think, at least right now, we're at a place where we have been able to kind of separate our home life and our work life a little bit, all of us together, so we can kind of compartmentalize how we interact with each other at work and at home. And it's so wonderful to walk into work and to see my dad. Or to grab a coffee in the morning, and that's my sister making my coffee. It just fills my heart. I feel so lucky to be learning from them and to be challenged by them. Having my younger sister work with me, we have such different personalities, and she challenges me like you can't even believe. She asks such great questions all the time, and her viewpoint on things are very different from mine. So she's always challenging me in different situations and offering other viewpoints, which helps me learn and grow. And I'm just so thankful that I have people that can be so straightforward and honest with me too. Not that you can't have that in other work environments, but I'm very thankful for that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, before we part, any last words of wisdom to our listeners? Anything about working with the family business that you'd like to share?
I think sometimes it can be really difficult to work with your family, to spend so much time, to hear the difficult things that they have to say to you sometimes, and it can get really monotonous. But I guess one word of advice would be, when things are getting difficult, try to step outside of yourself. Really take a look at the community around you, the people around you. Sometimes I know personally I can get so focused on how stressed I am or some difficult projects that I'm working on. So I suggest in these difficult situations sometimes to really step outside and look at how fortunate we are. Sometimes it gets, rough in the storm. You're like, why am I really doing this? And I've had to pull myself out and really look at the neighborhood around me and the community around me. And I realized that what we do here, it's so much bigger than just being a specialty grocer. It's really feeding the neighborhood and building community and making people smile behind the register. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I can take those short interactions for granted, but you can really make someone's day by being patient, asking them how they're doing. I say step outside of yourself, look around you, and I think sometimes that can make a difficult time a little bit easier.
Well, you are a wonderful contribution to the community and a great market. So thank you so much for joining us today. It was wonderful talking with you, and we thank you for being here.
Thank you.